Hey guys, how's it going? So, in this video, I'm gonna explain how to get out of bad sport. And if you get bad sport and you're still in the session you got bad sport in, don't leave that session and go to your apartment and don't destroy more personal vehicles because if you destroy more personal vehicles after you get bad sport, then it'll be harder to get out of bad sport by having someone commend you because it'll take more commends to do it. And when you get to your apartment, just wait and ask people in a session to commend you. And if you have friends that can come and help you out, then ask them to come and commend you. And it'll take a few commends to bring you back to a clean player. And even when it says you're a clean player, don't lead the session and still get commends. Ask your friend to commend you more and ask people in the session to commend you. And stay in that session for at least an hour and change your outfit. Because if you lead the session right after it says you're a clean player, then it'll put you back in the bad sport session. And I don't know why it's like that, but that's just how it is. So you need to stay in the session and get more commends. And then after like an hour, after you get a few more commends after being a clean player, then you can lead the session. But if you lead the session and you get put in a bad sport session, then what you want to do, if you have a second account and a second console, then get your second account in bad sport for 2 days if your second account hasn't been in bad sport before. So anyway, when your second account gets in bad sport, right before it gets out of bad sport, join your session that your main account's in, and whenever your second account gets out of bad sport, then what you want to do is start commending your main account with your second account. And it'll take a lot of commends depending on how many personal vehicles you destroyed with your main account in bad sport. If you destroyed a lot of personal vehicles with your main account in bad sport, then it'll take a lot more commends to get you out. And the reason I know this is because whenever I got out of the bad sport session, I had a few friends in bad sport that I tried to get out, and one friend didn't really destroy more personal vehicles after he got bad sport, so I was able to get him out in a few commends. And my other friends destroyed a lot of personal vehicles in bad sport, but no matter how much I commend them, I couldn't get them out. So if you destroy a lot of personal vehicles in bad sport, then it's less likely you're going to get out of bad sport, and I'll just serve the time unless you have like several months in bad sport. Like, if your time in bad sport's not that long, then I'd suggest just going ahead and serving it because even if you do become a clean player by getting command in bad sport session, if you leave that session and it puts you in a bad sport session again, then your time will reset. Like, if you had like 2 months in bad sport and you have 1 month left, then if you leave the session after becoming a clean player in the bad sport session by being commended, if it puts you in bad sport again, then your time will reset to 2 months, and then that'll just be an extra month in bad sport for no reason. So you don't want that. So unless you have like a long time in bad sport, I'd just go ahead and serve the time. And when you serve the time, then all your bad sport points go away. And even if you do successfully get out of bad sport by being commended, then you're still going to be close to a dodgy player. And unless you don't grief for a long time, then you'll probably end up going back to bad sport, and your time will be double what it was before. So, like I said, unless you have a long time in bad sport, I just go ahead and serve it. Because if you go ahead and serve it, then it'll reset your bad sport points, and it'll be harder to get in bad sport. And you don't have to risk it not working, and then your bad sport timer resets again. So anyway, either have your second account or a friend commend you. Like if your friend's in bad sport and they're getting out of bad sport for you, then your friend can join your session right before they get out of bad sport, and they can start commending you when they get out of bad sport. And it'll take a lot of commends. And even when it says you're a clean player after being commended by your friend, do not leave the session and stay in that session for as long as possible. And change your outfit and buy something. And don't destroy any more personal vehicles for a long time. Like, stay in that session and don't destroy more personal vehicles for at least a day after that, just to be safe. Because even when you get committed out of bad sport, you'll still be close to a dodgy player. And if you destroy personal vehicles, then you'll risk getting into bad sport again. And then all that time will be for nothing. And then you just have to serve longer in bad sport. So anyway, when your friend commends you when you're in a bad sport session and you become a clean player, don't leave the session and your friend can't leave the session. Because if your friend leaves the session, then they can't join back, because if you get bad sport and then your bad sport timer resets, and then if your friend leaves the session, then he can't join the bad sport session again because he'll be a clean player. Like, even though your friend's a clean player in the bad sport session, if he leaves that bad sport session, he can't join back because he's not a bad sport. So, even when it says you're a clean player, have your friend commend you a few more times, and stay in that session, and change your outfit and buy something, and just go AFK if you can't stay on. So anyway, if you don't have a long time in bad sport, just go ahead and serve the time. And if your bad sport timer's not long to begin with, like if you have like 8 days or 16 days or something like that, just go ahead and serve it, because it's not worth being committed out and then still being close to bad sport. And then if you get bad sport after that, then your timer will be double. Like, one time I got 2 days in bad sport and I just didn't want to serve it, so my friend came and commended me, and then I destroyed 2 cars and I got bad sport. Because when I was a clean player, I did get out of the bad sport session, I didn't have to serve it, but I destroyed 1 car and I was a dodgy player, and I destroyed a car after that, and I got bad sport for 4 days when I could have served the 2 days, and then all my bad sport points go away. So that's why you don't want to do it unless you have like a long time in bad sport. So unless you have like several months in bad sport, don't do it. Just go ahead and serve your time. Like, I have a month in bad sport right now, and I could have been committed out, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to be close to bad sport and get 2 months in bad sport if I get bad sport. So the reason I'm serving the month in bad sport is because when I serve the month in bad sport, then all my bad sport points will go away. And here's a method to avoid getting bad sport. Always ask for commends and have your friends commend you. And if you have a second account and a second console, then get on your second account and commend your main account whenever it needs it. That way you won't get a bad sport. That's what I'm going to do. I have a second account, so whenever I get on and my main account gets out of bad sport, then whenever my main account needs commending, then I'm gonna get on my second account and just commend my main account a few times. Just do that sometimes to make sure that your main account doesn't get bad sport, because if your main account gets commends, then it'll be less likely that you'll get bad sport. So that's a good method of avoiding bad sport. And also, don't destroy personal vehicles unless you have to. I made a video about how to avoid getting bad sport, so don't destroy personal vehicles unless you have to, or unless you have to destroy cargo. And if you want to destroy personal vehicles and kill people, then just start up a VIP work, and then you can grief as long as that VIP work goes on. And then when that VIP work expires, then join the session and then start another one. Because during that VIP work, you won't get bad sport points or insurance fees for destroying personal vehicles during that VIP work, and that's a good way to be able to grief and destroy personal vehicles without having to worry about getting bad sport points. So anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys leave a like, and if you guys like my content, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.